Before we begin, thank you very much to Grarl Brown, the T-Rex King, for joining the Patreon campaign. Grarl, you and I both know the true T-Rex King. Understand, I play along because this is the rules of the Shoutout. I give you whatever your display name on Patreon is at the time. This is playing with fire, man. You know this is a dangerous game you are playing here. And I know it's not the first time you've trolled red through me, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently on day 687 of the daily content streak. More importantly, it is day 180 of the Shoutout streak. 180 days in a row, legitimately half a year. You have prevented me from making a normal intro, and I have been shouting out generous people from my Patreon campaign 180 days in a row. And I thank you all for it. Legitimately, if you guys were not showing this kind of support, I probably would have stopped this YouTube channel like a year ago. But it's because of you that I can keep going, and we can keep enjoying Transformers together, so thank you very much. I hope to continue doing this. So, it is a news roundup day. Post San Diego Comic-Con means a lot of the stuff they showed off is starting to get into leakers' hands, and a lot of things are starting to release quite early. So in-hand images are aplenty this week, but we also have some really exciting stuff that dropped. So with that said, we're going to start with, I think, is the biggest news story of the week, biggest news story in quite a while, actually, because this is a complete shift in expectation. For a long time, I have said that a great direction that Hasbro and Takara have never gone in, but seems like a gold mine waiting to happen, is redos of the original G1 Transformers, same style, same blocky look, looks exactly like the old toy, but just improve the articulation, and improve the function, so like no swapping parts, etc. It seems like they are finally going in this direction. So this label, with the missing link in title, this is standard style leak image from Takara. It seems like it has an August 9th release date to when we actually get to see this for real. This is pretty exciting, honestly. This is a really fascinating thing. It is G1 Optimus Prime, but it has been redone with full articulation, full hips, full knees, elbows, universal shoulders, neck articulation, ankle tilt. It's pretty loaded. And it looks like there's going to be two versions of this. So we got version 1 here, which is, it seems to be toy-based. You can see the stickering details on the toes are actually the original stickers. And his bumper, or his chrome bumper in the front doesn't have any yellow on it. This version's also going to come with what seems to be just a straight stock reissue of his G1 trailer. So confirm that, yeah, this is like legitimately just like 1-to-1 scale with the original Optimus Prime toy. So if you want one that looks exactly like the original but has all this modern function and articulation, this is going to be the full package version. You can also see he has finger articulation. His hands open up. That's actually cool. And then the other version we saw already, which seems to be more cartoon accurate, silver on the toes. The yellow has returned to the front bumper. The blue is a little bit brighter. What's fascinating me about this is it doesn't seem like there's any part forming involved either. I don't see the holes in the front of his, I don't see holes, period, in the front of the cab where the headlights are, which indicates that his hands do not plug on. They are part of the transformation scheme. I'm presuming a door that opens up, flips out, and closes up, which would explain why his hands seem like a little bit narrow on the vertical side. But this is cool. So you got a more inexpensive option without trailer, and then the more expensive option that's toy accurate with trailer. I expect this to be the 40th anniversary piece. Similar to how the first Masterpiece Optimus Prime was the 20th anniversary piece, this seems extremely appropriate for the 40th anniversary piece. And if it kicks off a whole run of things, that's where it gets exciting. Later this week, we're going to take a look at Transformers Missing Link and the opportunities that this provides, because this is going to be fascinating. Truly fascinating. I'm so looking forward to seeing this. All right, back to your regularly scheduled news topics. We have our first good production photos of Deathsaurus in his completed form. The packaging art is finished and it is beautiful. Guido Guidi did an amazing job as always. It's a really cool box to match Star Sabers. We see the back packaging, which has a little bit of the like the vintage look with the original Victory logo and some grid on it, looking fantastic. And then we have the finished product. They've gone chrome for the fins, for the big, for like the big chest horn things. That looks fine. I prefer metallic, but I'll take what I'm given. Yeah, his Death Chicken mode looks fantastic. We've seen photos in hand all this, but this is where it's looking really, really good. The throne is creepy and works very, very well. I'm glad it has space. It has a little part. It seems like a part where his one of his cassettes, one of his breastmasters, his godmasters, can actually mount up there on the top. I'm confusing terms. He's a double breastmaster. A title few men can hold, but that's another story. Yeah, he just looks fantastic. He just looks fantastic. I'm prepared to do one more talk about this, at least in a news roundup format, because once he's in hand, there'll be more to talk about. But for now, I think this is the best look and probably the last time we're going to talk to him before he's out in people's clutches. So this is getting exciting. It's real. It's about to happen. All right. I have described photos as potato quality before. This ain't even potato quality. This ain't even potato quality. This ain't even tater tot quality. This is like mashed potato quality. This is like mashed potatoes smeared on the lens and then you took the photo. So the most pixelated of pixelated photos proves that the next Beast Wars again set is going to be Tarantulas and Dinobot. I'm eager to see what Takara did with Dinobot's color scheme. If he looks more show accurate than the Hasbro one, that might be the first one of these that tempts me. But we will see. We will have to see. For all we know, all we have now is confirmation that yes, this set's on the way, and Dinobot apparently comes with a golden disc, which is appropriate. If Takara really wants to throw a curveball and give me like the final battle version, that'd be nice too. Just saying. All right, let's look at some more photos of upcoming stuff. We have our look at Deluxe Starscream, and much to my dismay, it's just a repaint of the Cyberverse figure, despite the new Starscream having quite a few different details and a very different jet mode from this figure. It doesn't look like a bad repaint outside of using clear plastic for the canopy. What are you doing? They did this for the original figure. They did this clear canopy for the original figure so that the cockpit canopy could be clear and the rest of it was painted to match the nose cone. They've reversed it now, which completely defeats the point of the clear plastic. Now we're looking at what his internal robot parts and the canopy is solid. What are you doing? We've gone so far on clear plastic being a nuisance in Transformers. Now we've like completely flipped the script. Yeah, put a photo of him on the box so you can see just how inaccurate this release is. I just watched the rest of Season 1. I've seen what Starscream's all about in EarthSpark, and this is an injustice. This is an injustice. I'm offended by this figure. I'm more offended. I have to... apparently, it's a rerun of Build-A-Figure Piece 5 from Android, which I already have. So I could probably skip this one. Alright, so yeah, don't let the Build-A-Figure thing be a pull. I believe Shockwave came with the arm, so take your pick of repaints. Alright, we have in-hand shots for the War for Cybertron Voyager Megatron, which is currently sitting in waiting for me to ship it out. And I'll be honest, I'm seeing a lot of disappointment with the figure from people who have it in hand right now, and from the photos, I'm starting to concur. I know the fusion cannon is technically more accurate to how it looks in the game. This is actually way beefier than it looks in game, to my remembrance, but this is still way too small. And I'm shocked. Like, I know the original is rather large for a deluxe class. I was expecting it to be at least an inch taller. This is barely any bigger. That's actually disappointing. And then remember, like, this one actually has, like, a actual, like, wheeled tank mode. This one only, the one on the right only has a hover tank. So I'm not necessarily sure if this is an upgrade at this point. This might go back to my argument about, have Transformers budgets gotten so low that we can't improve on past releases anymore? This might be a yes. Apparently this also unfortunately came with a misassembly. So apparently the knees on this one are molded incorrectly, or molded, or like the parts have been switched around from one side to the other. For whatever reason, there are tabs that block the knee from bending farther than about 40 degrees, which is not good. Not good in the least. So you might have to snip those off if yours has that one. This is where I'm worried about having an early run one waiting to ship out to me, because it might have that problem. Nevertheless, I will take everything with a grain of salt. I heard the same thing about War for Cybertron Barricade, which I now finally have one of my own. I'll be honest, I have more issue with the Bumblebee than I do this one. They both have issues, but I like this one better, actually. So we'll see. I have no idea how Megatron's going to turn out, but we'll find out soon enough for myself. This one I'm excited for. This one I'm excited for. In-hand Nova Prime shots. I can't wait for this thing to launch. So the first thing that strikes me is just, okay, now, I knew how much of this thing was remolded in order to make this work. Seeing it side by side with Magnus emphasizes that so much. You've got the new pelvis, the new midsection, new chest, new shoulders. Yeah, of course, the new wings. Now, of course, a lot of this is also pulled from the previous version of the mold, which was based on Cybertron Optimus Prime. So there's a mix of details going on here. And unfortunately, that would be a better comparison, but whoever had it didn't have that one available, apparently. I'm surprised at how much bulkier it is. Like, not even just in the wings, but the shoulders look way bulkier than the ones on Magnus. It's a beautiful job. Like, I'm so looking forward to this. The inner Prime looks fine. Reminds me more of, like, the Combiner War Prime they did. Yeah, and it doesn't quite separate itself enough from Magnus, does it? Oh, well. But no, like, I'm super looking forward to this. I'm super looking forward to this. This is going to be a really cool figure in hand. I'm also waiting for the people who are inevitably going to do upgrade parts for, like, more weapons, different shoulders, or different chest, or they're going to expand the wings. I guarantee you that's the first thing that's going to happen is a wing expansion. All right, we have more shots of the JP-12 for the upcoming Jurassic Park multi-pack. Comes with his shaving cream can and his guns and the samples, etc. Yeah, he looks fine. He looks fine. I'm still weirded out that this Jeep is going to get a release before Earth Mode Hound. It's so weird to me, but that's the reality I have to live in. He looks fine. He does carry a lot of junk on his back. No real avoiding that, I guess, on a figure like this, but it looks okay. Yeah, no shots for his companion piece. It's just the Jeep. And I'm more interested in the companion at this point, honestly. But it looks okay. It looks okay. So a lot of this is going to be in-hand images from here on out. We're going to get into some previews of some upcoming big deal stuff, big collector lines stuff. So we'll slow down then. But for now, I'm going to try and take it very quickly because we got a lot to go through. There's in-hand shots for Jolt, who is compatible with the original Hotshot, of course. Looks pretty good with him. Now, he is animation accurate. Their toy had a bright red Jolt in animation. He was orange, so that is close to here. Ironically, that puts him in between the orange, the red and the yellow of the two toy releases. So he kind of works with both versions of Hotshot in a weird way. And I love how articulated he is. I love that he actually has like a proper like Minicon looking face from the cartoon. He has heel spurs. He has heel spurs finally. So that alone makes me want this this Jolt. I'm already got the I'm getting the power links because I have to. It's a Hotshot. I have to. All right, in hand for Bludgeon. And not the only one. This is just like this guy, like the dull one of the release. Bludgeon looks fine. He looks like Tarn with a new head. We've kind of gone over this before. He's not the most exciting of releases. It feels like he checks a box more than anything. But we also have in hand for Trashmaster, and he's he's a unique looking figure. Like, he's got a ton of bulk to him, which is already cool. Very like Spartan helmet style look to him too. Vague. I'm getting vague implications here of what was it? I'm getting vague implications here of like Age of Extinction, Hound with like what could be like ammo belts wrapped around his forearms here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if I just called a pre-tool, let me know. Let me know. No, he looks interesting. He's just a big, bulky boy. Doesn't look too terribly complicated as a Transformer. We do know that he does have the capacity to, like, come apart and combine with the other Junkions, so you're going to get some crazy vehicles thanks to this guy. So, I am, again, he's going to be a fascinating one. I don't know if he's going to be one of my favorites, but he's definitely going to be different looking. I like the weapon build here, too. That's actually kind of cool. It's like a Jaws of Life now. In hand for Cascade and Javelin. More girls, and both of them look phenomenal. These are from IDW 2.0, which I literally have no connection to. I was not a fan of the 2.0 run at all. I really didn't hold my attention to any of the new characters. I didn't really enjoy the story, really, outside of a few like small things they did. But this is cool. I actually like this. I actually like this pack. So yeah, there's not a lot to say here that I haven't said already. I love the idea of a sniper duel 2-pack. I think that's a fantastic idea. The color schemes on these look really special. I love the head sculpt on both of them. Yeah, it's just super, super nice. I still think like Javelin retooled from Bumblebee RC is such a good call. Such a good call. All right. Moving on. All right, Shattered Glass, Sideswipe, and Whisper in hand. Now we've seen this Sideswipe so many times, you really don't have to focus on him, which is why Whisper's kind of the star here. I do like that he can have the legs on top of the jet mode or on the bottom, depending on your taste and depending on what you want to do with it, because he can't combine with Sideswipe if he has the legs down. So that's cool. And again, very Minicon-esque head. Nice bit of added articulation compared to his past releases. He looks really, really good, and Sideswipe does too. This is, again, I'm like way more interested in this once they inevitably retool it into Armada Wheeljack. That just has to happen at this point. But for what it is, like, he looks really, really nice, and I'm glad that they went this far to get Shatterglass Sideswipe to look as good as he does. Like, looks really, really nice. Yep, give me Wheeljack now. Give me Wheeljack. And I believe we're going to wrap up the in-hand stuff with Naselle. I was corrected. Apparently, in IDW 2.0, this is how Naselle looked. He had the standard Seeker designs. He didn't have like the VTOL wings of thrust yet. All right, so yes, it is accurate to the capsule line that they are doing of like pre-war characters. I still say they took away a lot of potential uniqueness by like using this design over like only the version of Naselle that actually has some uniqueness to it. This is okay. This is okay. But it's just not gonna be for me. I own this mold like way too many times. Way too many times. I owned it a few times and sold off the old ones, and then now I own the Rainmakers and Red Wing. I don't need another one. I really don't need another one at this point. All right. If you want Nerf guns with Autobots on them, you can have that now. Bumblebee with Nerf Bumblebee is out. Looking very interesting. Looks like a wrap I'd have in a video game on a gun. And then a different style of Nerf gun featuring Optimus Primal. These are authentic style releases, so you have the more generic style of art for both of the characters. It's a novelty at best. You know, it's just one of those like it only matches the characters because they put the characters on them. There's really nothing else about this that strikes me as Optimus Primal and Bumblebee, you know? Which that always feels half-hearted, and I'm never interested in things like that. But, you know, kids are going to like it. right, we have a new statue coming out, Cold Cast Metal statue by Brantford Exchange, so this is probably going to be expensive. This is described as Issue 1 Optimus Prime, so we're inevitably going to be getting more of these. So yeah, it's all Cold Cast Metal. It's a really weathered look to its design, lots of weathering to it. Rollers stuck there on the back. Almost looks like there's like a seeker wing on the base that he's standing on. It's a interesting pedestal you've got him in. But no, apparently this is going to be a line of these, which doesn't surprise me. About 7 inches tall, 7.5, I think. So if you got a statue, so you have a statue that's not terribly huge, which is going to be good if they do a lot of these. That's going to end up being it's going to be space consuming otherwise. It's only going to be run for 295 days. So after that, done. It's $90, which is not bad for a 7-inch metal statue. So, okay. See, there's a trade show, I believe, in Hong Kong. So we get a bunch of shots from that. We're going to start with YOLO Park and their Deluxe Model Kit series, showing off the Dark of the Moon Megatron as well as the Optimus Prime, who they look pretty incredible. Again, we really like YOLO Park around these parts, and YOLO Park has done some fantastic things and helped out the channel here and there. I will remind everybody that code TJOmega on the YOLO Park website still saves you 5% on their model kits, which lets you get their action model kit line for less than $30 each, and they are a phenomenal steal for that price. These are looking very good too. These are going to be way more expensive than that. These are going to be way more expensive than that. But no, they do some really, really cool work. And these are equally impressive for what they have done. They're setting a high bar for themselves is what they're doing. They're also coming out with these AMK Minis, which, again, I assume since it's AMK, this is just going to be an unassembled action figure in a box as far as model kits go. But they're going heavy cartoon accurate model kits on a much smaller scale. I don't think I have any shots to show scale. They're 10 centimeters tall. For those who know metric, that'll give you a bit of an idea. They aren't that big. They are not that big. They're ball joint construction. I love they went with Dino Mode Grimlock for this one. Soundwave looks pretty good too. Optimus Prime also looks good. Bumblebee, Megatron. These are just nice. These are just really nice little cartoon accurate representations. If these come fully painted the way that the AMK line does, these are going to be a steal for what they are too. This is just going to be like a really cool thing to have on your desk. Yeah, really, really dig this. YOLO Park does great stuff. Moving on, Kuri showed off a bunch of their stuff, including their upcoming Beast Wars Megatron, which has their traditional like hyper exaggerations to it. There's sculpting in here that reminds me of the 10th anniversary version they did that was also in Cybertron. But I love the idea, like the tail side of this. It does forego him having any kind of actual hand on the left side, which he traditionally does. Instead, he has this 3-pronged railgun-looking tail arm. Pretty cool looking, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, that's actually pretty cool. Their bludgeon looks appropriately extreme. He's got a full Shogun helmet on. Forget Samurai at that point. Yep, they got a Megatron coming out too. Megatron also looking really, really nice. I believe that's a Bonsai-tron up there. There's the Megatron again. Oh, and then we get to the Starscream. Did nobody warn me, or did I just forget that Kuri's Starscream was going to have Cybertron-inspired design to it? This is going to be hard. Kuri stuff is way too expensive for me to afford on the reg, but this is going to be really hard for me to resist. Oh, it looks good. Oh, it looks good. It's going to be depending on the price and how I'm doing at the time. Thank you to my patrons, by the way. All right, let's move on. ThreeZero showed off a bunch of their expensive stuff, too. We've seen a lot of this, though. Like, a lot of this we've seen for the most part. But I believe Scourge and Mirage here are first-time looks. Mirage looking really good, movie accurate. Really like this. It's gonna be a shame if this is like how we have to get an accurate Mirage, because it doesn't look like Studio Series is gonna come through on that one. Yeah, looks good. Looks pretty good. The Primal we've seen before. He's still continuing to look awesome. And then, yeah, there's the Scourge, complete with all the badges stuck to his shoulders, including a Predacon badge. We didn't see any Predacons in the movie outside of maybe Scorponok, but that's weird, unconfirmed. But no, looking good. Looking really good. So that's more for you high-end collectors, those who have a big budget for these kind of things. All right. I have to move on to, we'll do a quick look here, because Flame Toys also showed off production gallery for their jet-powered Optimus Prime. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, for me this just comes across as like going way too hard. Optimus completely vanishes in the armor, which I'm not terribly fond of, and it just looks way too bulky to be practical or useful. It's just too much. I think they went just way too hard on this design. I know people are going to absolutely love this as some like weird like sci-fi, IDW-esque take on what Revenge of the Fallen Jet Optimus Prime looked like. It's not for me. It's definitely not for me. So yeah, like I said, I just think it goes way too far. I would prefer to still see Prime in the design. I'd prefer it to be less bulky. I don't have any hopes for this thing being able to stand up on its own without a stand. So that's the long and short of it. I think the base figure looks really good. I think the base figure looks like really incredible. Yeah, it's just a little bit too intense for me. I think they just went too far. But if you like it, again, it's just my opinion. So take it for what it is. If you're in Europe, you can get these now, which is on the absolute opposite spectrum on the over-detailed design we just looked at. These are Kids World G1 minifigures. You see they are just simple little figurines, no articulation, no nothing. And they just have these cute little representations of some classic G1 characters in super cartoony form. They look like something out of an old Flash cartoon, which is amusing to me. Also, they apparently have Barricade on the front of these, even though Barricade doesn't seem to be here. I guess it's just not one that they pulled. Yeah, they're hollow. They're hollow. Oh, no, look, there's the assortment of 8. No Barricade. So why'd they use Barricade on the wrapper? Barricade's not in this thing. Oh, well. But no, these are cute little collectibles if anyone's after them. You have to be in Europe to get them directly, or this pay out the nose to get them imported. Gotta really love them for something like that. Speaking of, if you have a Carl's Jr. in Ecuador, you can get your hands on those as well now. They're super cheap fast food toys with simple little gimmicks. Prime's got a firing missile and, the softest, most weird details you've ever seen. Primal, it seems to just be a gorilla. I have no idea what Cheetor does. But it's been a long time since Transformers had been any kind of kids' meal premium toy. So this is something for you collectors out there if you're scratching for something to come out to add to your collection. All right, a little bit of bonus news for the week. Little stuff this time, nothing much to talk about. We now have paperwork on the Sunbound Marvel Archive website. We have talked with them in the past. They archived some really incredible Transformers history. And now this includes a lot of paperwork from Wally Burr, which includes handwritten notes, call sheets, audition sheets, a lot of things that from the production of what created Transformers as a brand and a TV show. So it's pretty cool. We also have audition sheets for roles won by the following alumni: Michael Bell, Corey Burton, Susan Blue, Peter Cullen, Gary Chalk, Scott McNeil, and Tara Strong. So you've got some heavy roles for some heavy hitters here. Yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting piece of Transformers lore and mythology. It's the origin of the franchise. I think it's kind of cool. And we're going to wrap it up with a little bit of news from the special edition of Rise of the Beast at Peru Theaters. And the special was pretty basic. The movie itself had no deleted scenes added in, no extra content. All the extra 29 minutes went into specialty stuff. So No transit scene, no alternate ending. It's basically like how they chose Peru, the difficulty of filming at Machu Picchu, special greetings and things for the Peru audience. A lot of extra trivia too, which I'll invite you to go read over at TFW 2005 because there is a lot of little details there that might be worth it to you. And that's going to do it for the week. Yeah, normally I try to get as close to 20 minutes as I can. We're at 30 minutes. We had a ton to talk about this week. So, for an extra long news roundup, thank you guys for watching and sticking through. You are updated for your Transformers news for the week now. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Luffy's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.